Hello, my friends. For today's reading, we're starting off with, Is This Your Reading? So, the first two cards out are Mouse and Bee. So, I've misplaced the big version of the book, so be patient with me while I fish out the little bitty version. So, Mouse is an earth sign, and Bee is an air sign, first of all. I'm sure that's no surprise to you. The mouse is detail-oriented, small-minded, nitpicky, and nervous. The mouse has an innate desire to tend to the details. It often spends its days fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited and fearful vision of life and try to control every detail. This can be quite a painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. When mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. When in balance, organized, resourceful, prepared. When out of balance, busy with no purpose. To bring into balance, a meaningful project. Okay, I think mouse personality, you have a bit of a control problem too. Though it doesn't quite come out and say it that way. All right, next up, we have the Bee. Earnest, hardworking, democratic. The Bee personality is a delight to be around, especially when there's a team project on the horizon. Bees love to work steadily and thoughtfully until the final task is complete. They are sensitive creatures, aware of many subtleties at once. Since they're artists at heart, they usually add creative details to the overall vision. For the most part, they have bustling, joyous personalities, until they're too tired from all the work. Then they gripe, and then they sting. When in balance, content, active, vibrant. When out of balance, overworked and annoyed. To bring into balance, a mini vacation. So, it seems that you've been working too hard, or you may be a little bit OCD, maybe? I shouldn't say that so casually, but you get the idea. You're a little obsessed with the details of things, and perhaps a little controlling. Anyway, I shuffled out a bunch of cards from the Tea Leaves deck because I thought that might help with figuring out if this is your reading or not. And this is what came out first. I'm not kidding. I was stunned. Mice! Mice came out first. Oh my goodness. All right. So, mice. The mice card in the Tea Leaves deck stands for discord among friends or family. Next we have vine. Seek out information that will help you. And then we have bird, perched. Waiting for news, package, letter. So we have mouse on top of mouse, and we have a bird on top of the bee, which they're both air signs at least. They're not the same, obviously. But it is interesting coincidences or synchronicities, as whichever you care to use. Okay, unsuccessful plans. So we have discord, unsuccessful plans, not enough information, waiting for news, package, or letter. I'm leaning towards information. You need news, you need information, or you have needed it and it didn't arrive in time and things did not work out because of it. Oops. Oh well. You do have a change for the better coming up, though, or at least you're hoping for it. Dealings or relationship with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair. So it says a fair man in coloration, not temperament or anything. Disappointment in some affair. All right, all these three cards, they're all lining up saying the same thing. Things not working out. Then we have dealings or relationship with a younger man. Now this is the card that seems to indicate a change. I don't know whether the change is coming in February, or since this is to help you identify if this reading is for you, perhaps it already happened. I'm going to move this up a little bit because I have one more row I want to put on here. Sorry, I know it's shaking. Bread. Period of prosperity and abundance. Good news. But finally, an arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. All right, so I think there's a lot going on for you at work, or has been, because the Bee is definitely a work kind of card, and perhaps you've been waiting for some good news from work. And these may be coworkers, one of them may be a supervisor of some sort. This could be too someone that you have to be diplomatic with, but we do get good news. Good news here. 1, 2, 3. You have 3 good news cards. 4. All right. So I think it has not come quickly, but it's on its way if it hasn't arrived yet. Perhaps in February. These things take time. In any case, if this reading is for you, let's continue. What do you need to know, you mouse and bee person? I think you've really been focused on work most of all. But these are the goddess cards. I started doing a reading the other day with the goddess cards, and I wasn't able to finish it, but it looks like a really interesting reading. I thought it was going to be aimed at, feminine people, or people on the divine feminine path, but no, it was not. Maybe the goddess cards have something to say to you today. You seem to be very work focused. I see absolutely nothing in here about anything romantic, and passing reference to something family oriented, but not a big factor. We have Bast, the Egyptian goddess, cat goddess, Bast. Bast, or Bastet, or Pasht, was the Egyptian goddess who appeared in cat form. The Egyptians highly revered cats, for the word for cat, Mao, also denoted light and was cognate with the word for mother. The cat is a lunar animal and also a solar animal, representing the power of the sun as reflected in nature. Since the cat is an earth animal, Bast is also an earth mother goddess, a giver of life and abundance. In touch with her wild, instinctual nature, she is also a protector of women during childbirth. Like a cat, she is fiercely independent and belongs to no one but herself. Bast is one of the more joyful goddesses. Her elaborate festivals in the town of Babustis were renowned for their joyful dancing. Embodying a cat's gentler aspects, Bast is a personification of life and fruitfulness. The quintessential life-affirming mother, she reminds us to be playful and relaxed like a cat, and to find occasions to celebrate life. So it seems like you're getting a reminder that neither the bee nor the mouse approach is going to serve you well at this time. You should be a bit more cat-like, I guess, and enjoy life. Let's see what else. What is... That seems to be a recommendation of a next step kind of thing, or at least a general approach to life right now for you. To relax a bit, be more cat-like. But is there anything else? Let's try the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I do find it to be very effective, or I'm not sure effective is the right word, but it seems to do a really good job of connecting with the readings. And you got 24. Time for a nap. Wow, that sounds cat-like too. All right. All right. Be a cat. Take your naps. Relax. Enjoy your life. And ignore what you don't care to acknowledge. Like a cat. 24. Essential meanings: rest, rejuvenation and renewal, temporary non-action, allowing dreams to arise. The oracle's message: this is a time to step away and rest. Let the cares of your world go. Go into a state of non-action and allow yourself to be free of the shackles of your goals, your lists, your desires. Nothing is as important as rest, detachment, and neutrality. The overly busy mind can block you from inner wisdom. If you don't step back, take a seat. Oh, sorry, I misread that. The overly busy mind can block you from inner wisdom if you don't step back, take a seat, and rest. Be willing to let dreams surface and ideas flow through you, absent any force or conscious direction, as you observe without engagement now. Okay. I would say those two cards are definitely reinforcing each other. And you may be identifying with the mouse or the bee, but neither approach is working for you right now. You've probably overworked yourself. And the mouse card is a bit controlling, so you need to let that go. And float. Well, cats would just lounge about in the sun, wouldn't they? Relax bonelessly. All right. Anything else you need to know? Well, let's try tarot and see what happens. I'm going to put this one away too. We have... I don't think there's enough room for... Wow. You have 3 major arcana cards out of 4. So, there's a lot of divine forces at work in your life right now, which means you do not have any real control, and it's time for you to accept that. And I'm going to try and move this up again. Let's see if we can fit this in here. At least a little bit. It's the Princess of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, upside down. Okay, so strength is all about gentleness, compassion, and taming your inner beast through understanding and compassion. So not through the use of force. It's completely different from the idea of the more masculine approach to things, honestly. So be gentle with yourself so that you can tame your own inner beast. And 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups is about wish fulfillment. But it can also be about overindulgence. But I'm not getting that from this one at all. Actually, nothing here gives me that impression. Except possibly for the Page of Pentacles in reverse. The Page of Pentacles in reverse could easily be someone who is overindulging themselves, being a bit of a brat, even. So in the upright, enthusiastic, diligent, eager. In the reverse, well, there's still enthusiasm, but definitely not diligence. Rebelliousness, definitely. And dishonesty. Who is this person? Clarify the Page of Pentacles in reverse, please. Clarify the Page of Pentacles in reverse. we got the Eight of Cups. So this is someone you left behind. Someone that you decided was not good for you. They, like I said, dishonest probably. They either lied to you or stole from you, or maybe both. And you have chosen a different path. We have the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune. These are both positive cards. They're in the upright. So the Empress would also be capable of a great deal of forgiveness. But that doesn't mean that the Empress would put up with this kind of behavior, or would allow this kind of person to stay in their lives. And it is very possible to love someone and say, no, you were really bad for me, and you can't be part of my life. And to say that out of love for yourself as much as for the other person, because if no one ever confronts someone with their own bad behavior, then why would they change? They keep getting away with it. They have no incentive to change. So it sounds like a tough cycle for you. This person, this Page of Pentacles in reverse, they could be a young person. They could also be someone who is just very immature. Very, very immature. Because I have met even people who would be considered elderly who engage in this kind of behavior. And it's definitely not, it doesn't have anything to do with chronological age. All right, so the Empress, of course, is creative, nurturing, forgiving, but she also looks out for herself. She does not put up with disrespectful or harmful behaviors toward her. And it may be that this whole thing was destined. That can be a meaning of the Wheel of Fortune, is that, you know, divine forces are at work, divine timing is at work, and it just was something that, you know, the Wheel of Karma is something you're meant to go through, something you had to go through. And going through this Eight of Cups could help you to develop your Empress energy, which is definitely related to the Strength card, as the Strength card, as I said, is about being able to accomplish great things, like forgiving yourself, like forgiving others, through compassion, choosing compassion and understanding instead of anger, and also choosing to do the right thing for yourself and the right thing in general. So this is, well, this guy calls it the bravery born of illumination. So the other message of the Strength card is you can do it. Even when something seems impossible, you can do it. Now, with all that context, the Nine of Jars or Cups. You may be feeling much more secure now. You may be feeling contentment. There may have been a real sea change in your life. So, it sounds like a good time for you. Not that anything is finished by any means, but you've learned an important lesson or lessons. And that's probably why you are being called on to be the cat, to rest and let all this process and be integrated into yourself. So now is not a time for action for you. perhaps February. February will be a time when you are called upon to become more active. But even then, be careful. We have this arrogant, boastful person that you should not cross. So, I think I'm going to leave it there. Take care of yourself. Get some rest.